You ever think you finally escaped the madness? Like, you worked hard your whole life, played by the rules, and finally, bought yourself a little slice of peace? That was me. My name's Jack Preston, and up until last year, I was just a middle-aged guy from Amarillo, Texas, who saved for 2 decades to buy a quiet ranch on the edge of nowhere. 9 acres of freedom, a weathered barn, 2 goats named Lucky and Clyde, and a porch swing that creaked like an old blues record. I didn't buy this place for status or to impress anyone. I bought it for silence. For air that smells like hay. For mornings with coffee and no emails. But that's not what I got. Because 5 days after I moved in, a woman named Donna Hayward showed up in my driveway. Arms crossed, wearing a bright pink visor and that kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. You know that flagpole's not approved, right? She said before I could even say good morning. I blinked, still holding a bag of chicken feed. Approved by who? The Sunset Ridge HOA. I'm the president. I laughed, out loud, like an idiot, because I thought she was joking. I think you've got the wrong property, ma'am. I bought this land clear. No HOA attached. Her smile got thinner. It's been reinstated. Retroactive dues apply. You'll be hearing from us. And just like that, I was at war. Now, let me backtrack for a second. I didn't buy this place off some shady listing. I had a realtor, ran a full title search. Even checked with the county office twice. The guy I bought it from, Old Man Shelby, swore he hadn't seen the HOA since Clinton was in office. There were no dues on the books. No covenants attached to the deed. I thought I was in the clear, but Donna had other ideas. See, what she didn't have in legal paperwork, she made up for in sheer force of personality. The next morning, there were 3 envelopes stuffed in my rusty mailbox, each with the Sunset Ridge HOA logo printed in gold like it was the IRS or something. Inside, violation notices. 1 for the goats, 1 for my non-conforming barn paint, and 1 for storing a commercial vehicle on the premises, which, by the way, was just my pickup with a ladder rack. At first, I thought it was funny. I even called my brother and told him, "You won't believe this HOA ghost story." But by day 7, it stopped being funny. Because Donna didn't just want me to pay back dues. She wanted me to bow. She started sending people. Some dude with a clipboard stood outside my fence one morning like he was sizing up cattle. A woman on a bike circled my property every evening with a GoPro on her helmet like she was documenting war crimes. Then came the letters. Daily. Each one more absurd than the last. Unauthorized fencing. Failure to match mailbox tones. Excessive dust during dry months. I taped them all to the inside of my mudroom. Called it the wall of nonsense. I tried to reason with Donna. Sat her down on a bench near my gate one afternoon and said, "Look, I moved here for quiet. I'm not bothering anyone. I didn't sign anything. There's no legal HOA on my deed. Let's just coexist." She leaned in close, smiled like a rattlesnake, and said, "That's the thing, Jack. You're either in or you're out. And if you're out, well, we make life hard for outliers." Then she sipped her diet soda and walked away. What followed was 3 weeks of pure psychological warfare. Donna had her board members drive past my house slow, snapping pictures like paparazzi. Someone even flew a drone over my barn during evening chores. Then came the notice, HOA foreclosure intent, due to unpaid dues and community obstruction. A fake document, but official looking enough to scare someone less stubborn than me. So I called my lawyer, Dennis Mallory. Old cowboy turned attorney who'd seen more land disputes than the Bureau of Land Management. He reviewed everything, shook his head, and said, "She's got no case. No jurisdiction. But she's bluffing loud." Still, bluff or not, she had me walled in. Literally. One morning I came back from town, groceries in the seat beside me, and found a 6-foot plywood wall built across my driveway. Spray painted across the front in yellow block letters. Closed until compliance. I parked on the road and climbed over my own damn fence just to reach my front door. My goats watched me like I'd lost my mind. I called the sheriff. Again. Same deputy showed up, Deputy McCoy, who was starting to know me by name. He looked at the wall, let out a low whistle, and said, "She built a wall?" "Like it's East Berlin," I said. He called in his supervisor. They questioned Donna, who, as always, rolled up in her golf cart like a tyrant on tour. "Do you have legal ownership of this land?" the supervisor asked. "We're the HOA," she said. "No, ma'am, you're not. The county record shows the HOA dissolved in 2003. You have no authority here." Donna didn't blink. "We voted to reinstate it." "That's not how the law works," he replied. "Take it down." She snarled something under her breath and stormed off, but the wall came down that same evening. Her little army looked defeated, shoulders slumped like kids told recess was canceled. But it didn't stop. The next morning, I got another letter, this time from city zoning. My barn, the one Shelby said had stood since the 60s, was now flagged for demolition. According to a complaint, it was an unpermitted structure that blocked emergency vehicle access. Guess who filed it? Dennis and I raced to gather evidence. Climbed up into the rafters of that old barn and found the original build plate, dated 1965, with a permit number still visible. Took photos, affidavits from 3 neighbors, and submitted the appeal. All of it, every inch, just to keep a barn that was mine from the start. And while that played out, the internet caught wind. I posted a video. Simple stuff. Me standing at the end of my drive, pointing to the wall, to the goats, to the stack of HOA notices now as thick as a phone book. I bought this ranch with everything I had. I checked every document. And now I'm being harassed, fined, and threatened by people who have no legal claim to this land. If this can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. That video went viral overnight. Comments poured in. Stories just like mine from Ohio to Oregon. Folks fed up with petty dictators hiding behind HOA logos. News vans showed up. Local journalists. One lady named Marcy said it best. "This isn't about dues, it's about control. About power." And Donna hated that. She came unglued. Started screaming at drones. Called the news station and demanded they cease and desist defamation. When that didn't work, she sued me. Yep. She filed a civil suit for $250,000. Emotional distress. Public shaming. Said I ruined her image in the community. We went to court. It was surreal. There she was, hair helmeted, navy suit, eyes like stone, talking about how I turned her into a meme. Her lawyer spoke like I was a cyber terrorist. But when Dennis stood and laid out the evidence, the fake notices, the zoning abuse, the non-existent HOA filings, the judge didn't need long. "Case dismissed," she said, and ordered Donna to pay my legal fees. 45 grand. Donna gasped like she'd been slapped. I just sat there, stunned, then relieved. The courtroom applauded. Not something you see every day. Neighbors who'd once watched from behind curtains walked over to shake my hand. Later that month, we held a potluck at my ranch. Real potluck. No bylaws. No approved casserole lists. Just people and food and stories. We planted apple trees. Let the kids feed the goats. Laughed around a fire until the stars came out. I put up a new sign at the front of the drive. "Welcome to Stillwater Ranch. No HOA, just neighbors." A few weeks later, Donna sold her house. Moved somewhere quieter, they say. Gated. Controlled. Maybe that's where she belongs. But you know what? That sign? People stop and take pictures with it. The barn still stands. The goats still snore in the hay. And for the first time since I got here, I breathe easy. Still, sometimes I wonder, what if I hadn't pushed back? What if I just paid the fines to keep the peace? How many others still do? Let me know what you think. Should someone be allowed to just restart a dissolved HOA and force it on their neighbors? Have you ever dealt with anything like this? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And hey, don't forget to subscribe. I've got a few more stories like this and some fruit trees to show you. Peace.